What's up guys, it's the Notorious Nomad, and today I just want to talk about using your assassin abilities in the Conquest battles. And what I really mean by that is just how to go about going into a Conquest battle when you're following the assassin skill tree. So this causes a lot of issues. First of all, you're not allowed to use that many of your skills. You're allowed to use the hero strike, but that's about it really. You can also use the poison blades, but that's not super effective. It's definitely helpful in some of these battles and taking down enemies and making them a little easier to damage, but it's really not that effective, and you get in a position where you can't do a lot of damage in the assassin skill tree when you do these combat situations. This goes for the naval ships as well. Whenever you board one, there's a lot of issues. And in this video, I have more of the later skills, so I am able to have a second wheel that I can use to equip some of my other skills for combat. So later on, once you upgrade your spear, you do get a second melee wheel, which is really good. But what I want to talk about is more early on what you can do to kind of make sure that you have abilities to fight these conquest battles and also the naval ship battles. So basically, it stops you from using everything except for hero strike. You're even prevented from using your smoke screen like ability, which I don't understand why you're allowed to use it in regular combat, but for some reason you're just not allowed to use it in the conquest battles. And maybe that's so you can't just like run away, but everywhere you go there's going to be more enemies, so I don't really understand the purpose of not allowing you to use that. The most important thing, I think, is that your hero strike has a pretty long cooldown. So when you use it, yes, it does quite a bit of damage, but you can't really use it anymore. And if you're attacking people and building up adrenaline, you're gonna wind up in a position where you have too much adrenaline, honestly. So you can't use all the skills you have, and it's just gonna take you a long time to kill people. What I recommend is putting a point or two into the devastating shot ability. That's in the hunter skill tree, and it's really good. It's probably one of the best skills in the game that's not in your specific skill tree. So I recommend having the healing ability from the warrior skill tree. I think that's useful for all builds. And then also this devastating shot, which just does insane damage if you have it fully charged. It uses 1 adrenaline. There's no cooldown, so you can just keep using it over and over again. And if you want to, you can just fire all 5 shots just like one after the other and use up all of your adrenaline. So it is really good, and I find it super useful in a variety of situations. It's helpful in stealth, and then just being able to actually make use of your adrenaline and do some serious damage in these conquest battles is really important. So what I usually do is I just like aim for the head, I charge up the shot, and usually it's like 1 or 2 hits. A lot of my abilities right now, I may seem pretty weak compared to these enemies just because I haven't upgraded my equipment at the time of this video in a while. I think I'm level 30, and most of my equipment is level 20 or something like that. So I definitely recommend keeping your equipment more up to date than I have been. I just haven't been to the blacksmith in a while, and I was doing some conquest battles, and I wanted to show you guys them. So having that little bit of extra challenge may even make the video a little more enjoyable, and just kind of seeing a little more of the conquest combat and how to really make use of this devastating shot basically, and then your hero strike. And what I usually do is the hero strike, I try to save that and use that on the captains that you have to fight, and if I've accidentally used it, or if I just used it because I needed to early, then I'll just go ahead and use my devastating shot on those captains. But really, for these conquest battles, the trick is to focus on the captains. And that being said, you want to use these little grunts basically. You you want to use them to build up your adrenaline, so that when you go to the captain, or if a mercenary pops into your conquest battle, you can easily take them out because you had some built up adrenaline. So those are my recommendations for using your assassin abilities in the conquest battle. Later on, when you do have that second melee wheel, it is nice to be able to pick some different abilities that you're going to be able to use all the time in the conquest battle. So you can have your hero strike, and then I think I put on the shield break and also a stun thing, so that I can maybe stun people in combat and then back off a bit and use that devastating shot. I haven't had much time to see how that works in a conquest battle, but this should get you through the majority of them. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this video and that you find it helpful. I will be doing a video on the naval warships. The tips are basically the same, but there's just some cool naval battles, and I think that will be enjoyable to watch. So have a good one, and I'll see you next time.